Alright, tubers, Matt M. Roy back once again. May have to shut these windows in just a moment. I know officially I was supposed to start this at 6 p.m., but I just realized that the sun is starting to set, and I want to give everybody a chance to get all their questions in, so that's why I'm doing this just a little bit early, about 15 minutes early. We'll see how many people actually come here this early. Oh, I got 2 watchers so far. Not too much else going on today. That's pretty much why I didn't do a vlog. I know everybody's going to ask me, Matt, how come you haven't gotten any garage sales? Well, there just haven't really been any out there. I know Ruben's going to ask me that if he's here. I know who he is. How Minivan? Minivan doing well. Very well. Yep, I'm in the Chrysler Town and Country. Hang on one sec. You know what? I was going to use my Bluetooth speaker, but I forgot to turn the Bluetooth on. Oh well. We'll have to use the internal speaker on the phone this time. 8 watchers. Alright, that's awesome. Let's keep it going. Remember, keep hitting that like button if you like it. This live stream is mainly going to be for you guys. Just let me know what you want to talk about. It's take 2 because I did one of these last week. Stephen Barber said he's going to get an HP Omen desktop. Those are sweet. I know somebody locally that's selling the Omen laptops. Pretty good systems. I've never been a big HP fan, but the Omens have gotten some pretty good reviews. That's a wrap. There are 5 Thursdays next month. You get paid on Thursdays. Yep, more money in the bank. Yeah, there are only a few months, I think, that actually have 5 Thursdays. There isn't this month because February only has 28 days, unless it's a leap year, which is 29. How is my mom? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I'm not sure how you say your name, but she's doing fine. She's at home right now, resting. She had a little hard weekend. Well, it was a fun weekend. She spent it with a friend of hers, but her stomach's not doing too well at the moment, so she's resting right now. Nothing too serious. She just needs to start eating a little bit better and more frequently. She really has been skipping a lot of meals as of late. Sam Hodgson, you're a big fan of the HP Compact Business Class systems. I am too. On that note, I may be getting a large amount of HP Compact Pro 4000 series systems coming in. Let me know what you guys think about those, because I have a chance to get at least 10 of them, maybe 20, depending on how much I'm willing to spend. And these are all dating from about 2012. They all have Core 2 Duos, but they can be upgraded to Core 2 Quads. They're all the small form factor systems, but they are the business class tower, so they're really, really good systems. Yep, they are small form factor. Where can we buy all the stuff? Ah, that's a little trade secret that I'm not willing to divulge right at the moment. Maybe later on. We'll have to see what happens. But suffice it to say, they would really be a good deal for me. Still waiting on some more questions to come here. Well, while we're waiting on those, I'll show you guys a great deal that I got at Rose's just a few minutes ago. It's one of our local discount stores. At night during the summer, I like to sleep in shorts because that's just the most comfortable thing for me. And normally, these things have been really expensive. Just these cotton shorts. Last time I couldn't even find them at the local stores. Everything's going to this nylon or rayon synthetic shorts. So basically, when I bought them online, I spent like $7 or $8 a piece, and they were seconds and irregulars. Well, come to find out, my local Roses had a few pairs for sale, 3 to be exact, in my size, for $1.80 a piece. And these are, if I can pull it out, I don't even know what brand these things are. KCJC, if you guys know what this is. King Court. And they're just regular cotton shorts, a little bit longer than I would like, but they do have pockets in them, which are very important because I always keep tissues with me, because during the summer my allergies drive me crazy. I got a black pair, got a blue pair. They're all the same, by the way. And I also got a gray pair. Like I said, they're a little bit long, but they're not too thick. Got a crotch rocket coming by. Not too thick, so they won't be too hot at night. And total for that, I spent $5.72, if you guys can see that right up there. So a good deal there. Somebody's having a real hard time starting their car right now. They might have gotten it started now. I think it's one of the pizza delivery guys. So we got 14 watchers and only 1 like. Come on, guys. Give me those likes. Click that like button if you like these live streams. And I know a lot of you guys do. Where can I find cassette tapes? I'm going to try to pronounce this. Pradkins 14. Pretty much anywhere. I get a lot of mine at the thrift stores, garage sales. You can buy them online, like on eBay, but you're going to pay a premium for them, especially blank tapes. I never showed you guys this, but the other day I picked up from the thrift store 8-pack of Maxell XL2 Type 2 chromium tapes, and there are good deals to be had out there, and I got those for $2, which was an amazing deal because these tapes just are not being made anymore. They're extremely rare to find, and when you do find them, pick them up because, one, you could resell them because they're going for a premium on eBay. That thing alone sells for about $40, that 8-pack. And two, if you're a big cassette enthusiast like I am, you can use them. I mean, Type 2 tapes really give you the best quality sound, except for metal tapes, which are almost impossible to find anymore. You're not going to find them out there unless you're really, really lucky. I think the last time I found a metal tape was probably about 5 years ago, and that was just one tape. Stephen Barber, hey Matt, how's the ThinkPad you got for Black Friday? ThinkPad. I didn't get a ThinkPad on Black Friday. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the Lenovo. Yeah, that's doing great. I hardly ever use it. To be honest with you, I've probably used it twice, and that was only when we were on vacations. That's the A12, but yeah, no problems at all. I mean, I love the Lenovo brand. They're not the highest quality out there by any means, but they last. I mean, they're good quality products. Well, this poor guy in this Honda Accord, I'm sorry, my attention's drawn to this guy. He cannot get this car to start. His battery's good, it's just not turning over. It sounds like it may have a bum spark plug or something. I'm not a mechanic, but that would be just my diagnosis. How far is Windsor, Virginia from where I live? About an hour or so, depending on traffic. Just it kind of depends on what way you're going, I should say. Eric Brunhammer, hopefully you'll still be live in a few minutes when I get home and switch to my laptop. Oh yeah, definitely. We're going to do this for a little while tonight. I don't know how long, but it depends on how long the questions hold up. If you guys hear any rumbling, to be honest with you, my stomach hasn't been feeling too great either, so you may hear a little burp in a few minutes from me. That wasn't a real burp, by the way. Charlie Lipinski, what is your opinion on the Dell Latitude 3330? I'm not familiar with that particular Latitude. I am more of a desktop person. Very few laptops, with the exception of some of the older compacts. And of course the old ThinkPads am I really well versed in. Mainly desktops, to be honest with you. Sam Hodgson, my HP Compact 3005 small form factor is a solid system. I have now upgraded to a quad-core Vostro 230 though. I love the Vostro series computers. I actually have a Vostro 200 once again as my data backup rig. I've had Vostro 400, I've had Vostro 420s. All these are Core 2 Duo, Core 2 Quad, basically LGA 775 socketed systems. They're all very reliable, with maybe the exception of the 420. The 420 suffered from power supply problems. Specifically, the fans would go out on them. It was really surprising, too, because those were all the Delta power supplies in those. And I guess they just got hold of a bad batch. But other than that, they were all really reliable systems. How much data do you get per month? That's really hard to say, because there are months that I'm really, really busy and other months I'm not. If you're in terms of gigabytes, how much data do I back up in a month? I'd probably have to say maybe 20 or 30 gigabytes. A lot of my customers are older, and the types of data I usually back up are pictures, documents, maybe the occasional video or two, but it's usually not like really high volume backups. I mean, I have a 1 terabyte external hard drive I haven't even opened and used yet, that I bought at the thrift store here for about $7, and that I'm actually going to attach to the data backup machine. That way, if I get a customer or a client that comes in and needs me to back up something that's, you know, on the larger side, you know, 400, 500, 600 gigabytes, now I have the space to do that. And the nice thing about an external hard drive is I can actually take that, once I've done the data backup, I can take that external hard drive and just attach it to whatever their new computer is going to be, and just transfer the data back that way. It just makes it a heck of a lot easier. I like that, Tyler. Hondas are supposed to start. Yeah, I don't want to talk too loud because this guy is actually out here. Matter of fact, I'm going to shut this window. Yeah, it looks like it's a early 90s, probably a 90 or a 91 Honda Accord. I love them. I mean, I've seen a lot of them, but just like anything, cars break down, unfortunately. Got 13 watchers and 6 likes. Come on, click that like button for me. That'll help me out tremendously. Alien Technology. I've built a new Ryzen 5 1600X desktop, and I love it. I have not had a chance to work with any of the Ryzen equipment. I know that, what is it? Chris's Tech Channel has. He's built a Ryzen system. And I probably will in the near future. I think the next build I do will probably be a Ryzen desktop. When I save a little bit more money, and when I really need it, because you guys know my specialty is refurbishing older systems, and I do that in bulk. I was just figuring this out the other day. I think over the last year I've refurbished and repurposed over 200 desktop computers. It boggles my mind. I was going back through my books, and it's been a crazy year. A good year, though. Whenever you're busy, it's a good thing, believe me, because there are times that I was not busy in years past. You know, I was bored, and that's when I would eat. And getting back to the fitness side of things, that was another reason that I was packing on the pounds over the years, because I just plain didn't have enough to do. And now that I have goals that I'm setting for myself, not only weight goals, but goals for, you know, growing my YouTube channel, growing all my different ventures, life has really changed around for me in a very positive way. John Mosley, finally, I'm actually here for a live stream. Very nice to see everybody here. Interesting. Tyler wrote on here, crank position sensor. That would not surprise me. It sounds like it's trying to start. I could hear it in the background. It's like kind of like that. I know I didn't do the noise justice. Hopefully, it looks like he's calling somebody to help him. That would not be me. I know very little about cars, to be honest with you, other than the ones that my dad has. Max O'Neill, Ryzen APUs are solid for cheap gaming PCs. The Vega 8 APU is equivalent to around a GT 1030 RX 450. Once again, I'll take your word for that, because I'm also not a computer gamer, but from what I've read about the Ryzen CPUs, they definitely give the new Core i7s a run for their money, especially when it comes to gaming. I'm not sure about video editing. I still like Intel systems. Sam Hodgin, my school's IT department frustrates me. They upgrade systems with first-gen i5 CPUs to Acer Core 2 Duo systems. Dell Vostro 430s getting sent to e-waste is frustrating. That doesn't make sense at all. Why would you upgrade to a Core 2 from an i5? I don't even know where they're getting Core 2s. At least they can't be new systems. Well, I'll tell you something. If you can snag some of those Core i5 systems that they're sending to the e-waste, they're definitely worth it, because you can make some serious sleeper builds with those, and you can refurbish them. You know, around here, Core i5 systems will still sell upwards of $250, $300. You know, you pair them with 2 monitors, a keyboard, mouse, a wireless card, and speakers. That's the thing. When you want to entice buyers and really want people to come and appreciate your computers, accessorize. Whenever I sell a computer, I always pair it with at least 2 monitors, with the exception of a few cheaper systems that I sold. Good pair of speakers, wireless card, and even a webcam if I have them available. And you always want to take good pictures. I usually start with taking pictures of the whole system at once. Then I take a picture of the tower. Then I take a picture of the monitors, the keyboard, and the mouse. Usually I can get that all in another picture. And then I actually take a picture of the specs. I go to the system properties, which shows the amount of system memory, the speed of the processor, what the processor is. I take a picture of you know, what the hard drives are. I go into there and show them what optical drive is in there. And then I take a picture of what video cards in there. And then, you know, if I have enough room at that point, it's usually 7 or 8 pictures. And if I want to be really, really good, I'll take a picture of the back of the computer to show them what the ports are. Generally, people that are buying computers want to know, does a video card have an HDMI port, a DVI port, a VGA port, a display port? So that's a question I get an awful lot. Alien Technology, need a new graphics card to put with it, LOL. Yeah, I mean, I would still go with a NVIDIA card just because of my experiences of late with ATI graphics drivers. Specifically on my XPS 8700, the card's been crashing a lot. So my personal recommendation, stick with an NVIDIA card. I know a lot of you guys will give recommendations, so I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Eric Brunhammer, sounds like God has blessed you greatly this year. He really has. He really has. In almost every aspect of my life. In fitness, in my interpersonal relationships, my relationship with my parents, and even in business. You know, look, my YouTube channel has grown. You know, I'd love to see my YouTube channel go to 10,000, 15,000 subscribers. You know, that would be great. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, then that's fine. I'm perfectly okay with having a small channel. You know, if that's what God wants for me to have, then that's what I'll have. And of course, the fact that we've even gotten back into church has been very, very beneficial. We're actually starting to go not only Sunday mornings, but Wednesday nights as well. And there are a few other things we're doing in the church now that really feel like the right thing to do, because that's something that was very much lacking in my life over the years. We got 17 watchers and 9 likes. That's awesome. Keep those likes coming. Charlie Lipinski, can we do a trade sometime? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I have something you want, you have something that I want, yeah, no problem. I love bartering. I've done that for many years. Max Neal, I've had a laptop with amazing ATI GPU. Let's just say I have a better chance of walking to America than that thing not crashing. Yeah, it depends. It just depends on the card. The one I have, the what is it? I can't remember. R7 360 that's in my 8700. It's a solid card. I just have issues with the driver software sometimes. Right now it's working well, so cross my fingers there. Pradkins 14, minivan speakers good? Yeah, this van has very good sound quality. This has the premium package with the 2 speakers in the door, the 3 speakers up top, the center channel, the 2 left and right channels. and it's got multiple speakers in the back. This has the VES, the Visual Entertainment System, which has the DVD players. It's got 2 of them in here, so yeah, she's got really good sound. Unfortunately, I never get any use out of the DVD players because I never sit in the back of this thing. Sam Hodgen, they purchased new Dell all-in-ones. The old computers were placed in a classroom with the i5s. Those are still obsolete Pentium Ds that still haven't been replaced. Very frustrating. Yeah, I can imagine. Pentium Ds in this day and age are very, very antiquated. As a matter of fact, the thrift store over here has a Dell Optiplex GX 620 tower that I was considering purchasing. I think they wanted like $14, $15 for it, but I looked it up, and the fastest thing I could put in there was an old Pentium 950, so I just passed on it. It's just not fast enough to do any really modern tasks anymore. I'm waiting for some more things to come in. Tyler wrote, had a brand new 1 terabyte Western Digital Black WD1003FZEX have head crash in 5 hours. I'm not sure if you've seen that. I tagged you in the video or not. I have not actually seen that one. That's odd, especially for a Western Digital Caviar Black. Must have been just a defect in the manufacturing, I would think. It's more of what I'd expect from a Seagate. Really, no hard drive should do that unless there was a major issue. Very sad. I've had hard drives in the past have bad sectors right out of the box, but not actually have head crash out of the box. You know what? No, I tell a lie. Years ago, I purchased an old Maxter 60 gigabyte hard drive from a thrift store, new old stock. And that one did have a head crash almost immediately, but hey, it was a Maxter drive. It was allowed to crash its head every once in a while. Oh my goodness, we're getting so many questions here. Let's see. Gunther 8544, time to start my walk. I'm out. Keep on stepping. Thanks, man. I'm on track to get 20,000 steps today. Probably just about 20,000 though, because I didn't get a double exercise, and I walked this morning. Didn't quite make it to the bench on the path because my lower back's been really sore, and I honestly think tomorrow's going to be a actual rest day, unless we maybe bike ride. But I can't walk another day straight. My lower back is just killing me right now. Max O'Neill, I like my Seagates. I would tend to agree with you. In the past, I've really never had a lot of problems with Seagates until very recently, and that was because of a batch I bought off of eBay. And I wound up getting 10 drives from the seller, and out of those 10 drives, 6 of them had bad sectors, and 2 were useless. I actually had to send the 2 back to the guy. I think the other 4 had maybe anywhere between 20 to 50 bad sectors, so I kept them. I mean, that was okay. Up to 100 bad sectors is usually acceptable in my book, but ever since then I've been a little gun shy when it comes to buying Seagate drives. Tyler, the unload and load ramp didn't react when I shut it off like the Western Digital Blue I told you. Interesting. I'm wondering if maybe the heads weren't parked right to begin with. I know that can happen with new drives. If it wasn't parked and it was shipped, and it was rattled around, that head could have crashed into the platter even before you got the drive. So that's probably what happened, and then that just proves my theory about it being a manufacturer's defect. AJS 2120. It is luck of the draw with hard drives. I generally prefer Western Digital or Seagate, but I have equal amounts of those fail, possibly slightly more Seagates. Yeah, that's pretty much what everybody says, and it is a luck of the draw. I mean, and it could depend on where the drive was made. Believe it or not, it could depend on the conditions in the atmosphere. I've actually heard that some of these drives, when they're made on humid days, because a lot of these overseas manufacturers don't have adequate air conditioning and HVAC systems, can affect the performance of these hard drives. So keep that in mind. It's a good thing though, these manufacturers are usually really good when it comes to RMA replacement. If the drive fails usually within the first few months, you'll be able to get a new one fairly quickly. And actually, I know Western Digital has a scheme where you can actually report the drive. You fill out a report online, send them the serial number. They can prove that drive is only maybe a few months old. They'll actually send you out a new drive, and you send them the old defective one back in the box, and all you usually have to do is give them your credit card. They won't even charge it, unless you don't send them the old hard drive back. Max O'Neill, my 2 drives are on caution. I've kind of written too much. It's time to replace them. Yeah, when you're at the caution mark, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I say that a lot for good reason. I've come across a lot of my clients that have lost data in the past because they waited too long to bring the computers to me, and their hard drives at that point were either totally unrecoverable or partially unrecoverable. And bear in mind that I can only do what they consider level 1, maybe level 2 data backups. I have played around in the past with repairing I can't think of the name of it right now, the I/O boards on the hard drives, but I've only had limited success doing that. So your best bet is, if you see a problem with your computer, if you think your hard drive's going bad, download something like Crystal Disk Info, Hard Drive Sentinel. Keep an eye on it, and if it reports that hard drive is bad, back up that data immediately. And the best thing to do is to back it up, your data all the time, to a secondary drive, and then even a tertiary drive. But I'm being realistic here. Most people, unfortunately, are not going to do that. See what else we got going on here. I'm getting so many questions. Sam Hodgson, creating backups are important because you can't always predict the failing of a drive. Absolutely. Murphy's Law. If you guys don't know what Murphy's Law is, that anything can happen at any time, basically, good or bad. So usually when people talk about Murphy's Law, it's about something bad happening. So back up your data. If not, Murphy's Law is going to get you. AJS 2120, even in this day and age of available backup devices, people still don't seem to do so. Yep, I've been saying that for so many years, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we lead busy lives. We work a lot more than we should, at our main jobs. A lot of people have multiple jobs, and by the time they get home at night, the last thing they're thinking of doing is backing up their pictures that they took from the day, or video that they took for a project down the line. And I totally get it, and that's why I'm not totally against stuff like Carbonite and all these online automatic backup facilities. But you got to remember, to use those, you got to make sure you're connected to the internet properly, and you have to make sure they're configured properly. I know people that had Carbonite and thought they were totally safe, and come to find out that they didn't have it configured properly, and only a fraction of their data got uploaded. Or they picked a package that was too small. Maybe they picked a 20 gigabyte package, and they wound up having 40 gigabytes of data. And once they went to 20 gigabytes, they either didn't get an alert about it, or they did and they just ignored it. Alien Technologies. I have a SanDisk SSD that they replaced for me with a new one. I woke up one morning, I guess you meant saying it was just dead. I've never worked with SanDisk SSDs. The only solid-state hard drives I've ever owned, with the exception of one I put in a computer I sold, which was a PNY, were Crucial. Crucial are my absolute favorite drives. I own 2. Crucial MX200 SSDs, both 256 gigabytes. One in my main Dell XPS 8700, and one is in my Media Center PC. Solid SSDs. Never had a problem at all. Never given an error or anything. NWS Storm Chaser, I know you want to know that. Howard Baxter and Milo. Lazy. Very lazy, but they're doing well. They were both sleeping on my mom's bed, and, well, Mom was napping, so she told me. And then when she woke up, they went in my bed and decided to plop down. Baxter on the edge of my bed. Milo was next to him for a while, roomed him, and then moved over to my chair. So they're probably in my room still, actually. Stephen Barber, now for SSDs, I go with Intel or Silicon Power. I've heard good things about Intel SSDs. I've never worked with the Silicon Power ones. I don't know. You'd have to tell me on that. I'll tell you, if I had unlimited resources, if I won the lottery or something, my dream would be to buy tons of computer equipment. I'm talking about SSDs, motherboards, CPUs, and just kind of benchmark and test these things all day long. That would be my dream. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I have very limited resources, so I work with what I can afford, basically. My goodness, a lot of questions coming in. Max O'Neill, cloud storage is an amazing idea, but if you have someone with like 50 gigabytes of photos and a slow internet connection, it takes forever to upload them. Absolutely. I totally can attest to that, because I have a lot of clients that live in the country, basically, in the rural area of where I live. And a lot of them, they have to rely on old, slow DSL. We're talking 5 megabit, 10 megabit download speeds max. And I would not want to be in their shoes. That's why I'm glad I live in the city. That way I can get my Fios. And I don't have the highest package. We actually have 100 down, 100 up. And the reason I did that is because I want to keep the old modem, which I really like. And we really don't need any more than that, because I'm the only one that pretty much uses the internet, except for Mom downloading books on her Kindle once in a while. Eric Brunhammer, and your experience with them is why I bought the Crucial MX500. Yes, I remember you sent me the message about that. You'll have to let me know how that works out for you. I'm going to be in the market in the near future for a SSD, probably to replace the one that's in my main rig. That one is still in good shape, but probably will only last me another couple of years because of how much I use it. And I'll probably replace that with a MX500. That one is actually in M2, motherboard surface mount SSD. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically like a little, instead of having the 2.5-inch laptop style SSD, it's literally just a circuit board that plugs into a slot on the motherboard and actually gets screwed down flush to the motherboard. And yeah, that's worked out just great. I have heard in the past that those can suffer from heating issues. Some people choose to put fans on top of them, but mine seems to work just fine. Sam Hodgin, do you ever find cell phones at thrift stores? Very, very seldom. And I'll tell you why. In our area, a lot of the thrift stores, what they've started to do is they have a little bin. And when you have an old cell phone, you put it in there, and they actually take those, refurbish them, and they hand them out to single moms, all the underprivileged people that can't afford them. The few cell phones that they sell are usually really, really old. I'm talking about like LG flip phones, things of that nature. Tom Wild, awesome. Thank you for showing. I love it when a lot of my UK viewers are here. Do you still have your vintage systems, Matt? Yes, I do. The ones I have right now, I have my HP Pavilion, the 8000 series one that's running Windows 2000. I have a Gateway Essentials E5400 series that's running Windows 98, and then I have my Dell XPS D233 Pentium 2 system that is my DOS gaming rig and runs Windows 3.1. And Tyler can attest to this. I was telling him that computer still has the original 4 gigabyte Maxter hard drive that I desperately need to try to clone, because I'm afraid if that hard drive goes out, I don't want to have to deal with that, because I wrote a lot of the code for the autoexec and autoexec.bat and config.sys in that computer. It took me hours and hours and hours, and I really don't want to have to redo that. So that kind of reminds me, that's something I got to work on this week. We're at 20 watchers and 9 likes. All right, guys, come on, click that like button. I know you're liking this if you're sticking with me this long. Help me out here. Go ahead and click that like button. Give me a couple more thumbs up here. Eric Brunhammer, I would try to clone it to a compact flash drive. Yes, it's interesting you should say that, because I have tried it with that computer. Several different compact flash to IDE readers. Unfortunately, it has not worked for some reason, and I don't know if it has to do with the motherboard on there or the interface, the IDE interface. It will not work. I can get it to boot to DOS, but after that, it just crashes. And I've tried it with many different compact flash cards. There's just something in that computer, it will not work properly. So for the time being, I'm gonna have to stick with conventional hard drives. Maybe I could use something like a small SSD in the future. That might be another possibility too. Yeah, Eric Brunhammer, weird. It works in my Packard Bell. Yeah, it just has something to do with the architecture in that computer. Mr. Burns, yeah, from The Simpsons. That's cool. What is a thrift store exactly? We don't have them here in the UK. I think in the UK, once again, you call them charity shops or second-hand shops. It's just basically where they sell used merchandise. Computers, clothes, bric-a-brac, stuff like that. Tyler, gotta go shovel now. Talk to you later. Awesome. Thank you, Tyler, for coming. Don't work too hard, though I don't think you'll have to with that little bobcat of yours. Download the Chrysler Uconnect app. I don't actually have Uconnect installed in this van. It was available. It was an option in this van, but the previous owner just didn't opt for it. The buttons are there on the radio, but the Uconnect system's not installed. I'm going to try to turn the lights on here because I know it's getting kind of dark. Oh, there we go. Got my ambiance with the LED lights back there. Yeah, the Uconnect would give me navigation. That's another thing this van does not have. I do have the satellite radio. I have the rear backup camera, and I do have the touchscreen, but it didn't have all the options, which I'm okay with. I use one of these for my Bluetooth calls, and it works just fine. I could get the Uconnect installed. It would be about $400 or $500, but I'm just not willing to put that money into the van at the moment. George Blakely III, how is your mom and dad? Doing very well. I wish Dad would do better on his diet, but can't force him. Evan Kioki, if I'm pronouncing it right, instead of a DSLR camera, maybe provide drone footage when they become cheap enough. It's possible. I had thought about it in the past. It's just not something I'm really that interested in doing. I know YouTube users, Nomadic Fanatic, Adam the Woo, they all had drones, and they used them for a time, but it just got old really quick. I can't justify spending the cash on a drone for the few times that I would probably use it, so I could almost tell you I would probably never buy a drone unless I found one maybe really cheap secondhand at the thrift store. I'm cheap, what can I tell you? I won't buy things that I think are extravagant. I just won't do it. Sam Hodge, in the UK there are virtually no computers sold in charity shops. It's a shame because they cannot be sold as is. It probably has something to do with data security, and that happened at the Goodwills, which is another thrift store around here years ago that used to sell computers you know, non-refurbished computers. I used to be able to get a lot of them there, $20, $30 a piece, but they actually got sued because a few of the computers they sold, the data was stolen off of them, and the people that donated them had their identities stolen. So unfortunately, they're not allowed to do that anymore. What they do, they still take computers, but they have a division of the Goodwill Industries that does basically what I do, refurbishes them, and they sell them in their stores as fully refurbished computers. So can't make any money on those, unfortunately. But all the other thrift stores in the area still sell computers. Gotta go for a minute. See you later, Max O'Neill. Awesome. Chris's Tech Channel. Hey, Chris. Hope you guys are doing well. I am fixing up vintage PCs for myself. I hope you're going to do a video on that, because I love watching the videos you do about your vintage PCs. Please put some of those up if you can. Please, 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 please. How long have I watched Angry Grandpa, Packins 14? Not for very long. I don't really watch, like, Kid Behind the Camera. I'm subscribed to his channel, but I don't watch his videos all the time. They tend to be a little raunchy for my taste. Again, that being said, I totally support what he's doing, because, you know, he's making a living for his entire family doing that. But it's just not really my cup of tea, to be honest with you. NWS Storm Chasers. Are Dell Optiplex 790s good? Yes. The Dell Optiplex 790s are awesome systems. For a time, I had about 20 or 30 of those, and they're solidly built business class systems, almost all metal. I believe those used Intel boards, and never had any issues. Out of the 30 or so that I had, I think I only had one that had a bad motherboard, and that was because somebody had tried to do some upgrades to it, and they actually put a incompatible graphics card in, and they literally burnt out the PCI Express X16 slot in there. But you know what? The board actually still worked. I actually put in a PCI Express X1 card that I had, and I used that as my personal system for a while, but eventually the rest of the motherboard did fail. Rail Ghibli, what wipe program do I use? For wiping hard drives, usually Kill Disk. I know I've had a lot of people say, don't use Kill Disk, that'll actually ruin the hard drive. It won't. It won't. I just do the one pass DOD, I think it's version 3.3. That's usually enough, and it seems to work really well. And the one thing I like about Kill Disk is if the hard drive has any issues, especially on the platters with the sectors, it'll usually find those out, even if things like Crystal Disk Info and Hard Drive Sentinel will miss. NWS Storm Chaser, he went buy one on eBay, I'm assuming the Dell Optiplex 790s. Would I recommend purchasing it on eBay? If it's for a good price, yes. Just remember, when you buy anything on eBay, you want to look at the eBay user's feedback. That'll tell you a lot about how reliable the person is. Look at the pictures. You know, just do your homework, please, because I've seen so many people get burnt on eBay before just because they were a little overzealous to make a purchase and they really just didn't do their homework. Evan Kiyoki, what do you think about the GPO shortage because of crypto mining? Yeah, I'll give you my 2 cents about that. I think a lot of that has to do with the manufacturers introducing a shortage to increase prices and increase demand. It is true that a lot of the because of the Bitcoin craze, a lot of newbies are getting into it and they're buying up a lot of the higher end graphics cards. But take my word for it, there's not really a shortage. The shortage is not real. These graphics card manufacturers are just creating this shortage so they can up demand and in turn up prices and up their profits. But that's all I'm going to say about that. There's nothing. It's trouble. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the capitalist free market system. NWS Storm Chaser, I like your advice. You're the best. I'll be watching your videos till I'm 100 years. I'm 23 right now. So you got a long time to get to 100. I hope I can make it to 100. I think my lifestyle that I'm living now, eating better, getting more exercise, might get me there. I'm 34 right now, so I'm a little bit ahead of you. But I will tell you this. For those of you out there, if you're in your 30s, late 20s, early 30s, it's not too late. I've had so many people tell me that, oh, I'm in my late 30s, I'm in my 40s, even in your 50s now, and it's too late for me to start losing weight. It's not. Because you can do a quick change of your diet, you can start exercising more. It makes a huge difference. And even somebody like my mother, who's in her late 60s now, has seen a marked improvement in her mobility, even her attitude. You have a better attitude when you exercise. You just feel better inside. Longevity, that's it, absolutely. Sam Hodgin, I have an iPad Air 2. Do you still have an iPad? OS 11's reliability is quite frustrating sometimes in my experience. I do. I have an iPad Air 2, same as you. Mine's a 64 gigabyte version, and the way I got that, I actually traded that for a computer. I actually traded somebody a computer for that. It's okay. I've had some issues with the new iOS on it, but again, to be perfectly honest, I only use it usually late at night to watch a few YouTube videos at most. I like my desktops. I'm a creature of habit, and most of my internet viewing, YouTube viewing is with a desktop. So, yeah, I mean, I have nothing against them. I love iPads. Sometime lately, I've been using my Kindle Fire HD8, but the thing that frustrates me with that, and Eric Brunhammer, if you're still watching, I know you can put your 2 cents in here. They can be really slow at times. They only have 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. If anybody from Amazon is watching this, in your next version of the Kindle Fires, you need to up that to at least 3, maybe 4 gigabytes to get any kind of speed out of that. I know the reason they do that is to cut costs, but let's face it, it would not cost them that much more to add another gig of RAM to those. Tom Weil, do you see YouTube as a viable platform in the future? Do you think it will end? This is a question that a lot of people have posed to me, and I'm no expert on YouTube. I hope it doesn't end. I love the format. I love being able to, get my information out there. What might end in the near future is the monetization part of it. As you guys have seen, a lot of my fellow YouTube users, and content creators have been affected by this, whereas their channels have been demonetized because they don't meet YouTube's new requirements. And I've even been hit myself. My revenue has gone down considerably, and unfortunately, I won't be able to do the Amazon gift card giveaway until next month because of it. And it's something that I think we're going to have to look into in the future, maybe going to another, what's the word I'm looking for, another platform. I know there are a lot of them out there. But yeah, I'm just hoping in the near future Google smartens up and thinks, you know what? There are a lot of potential content creators out there that can make us a lot of money, so let's go ahead and make them happy. Kyle Chantor, Matt, I also like to fix up old computers. What I do in my home, my townhome, I guess you meant to say, hometown, I got you, is I go to some scrap yards and they have tons of computers there. The guy charges me 75 cents a pound. You should try that, man. I would love to. Unfortunately, our scrap yards don't allow you to take things out generally. But you know what? I might look into that in the future anyway. Good idea. Good comment there for sure. Madam Roy, this is from Victor De La Fuente. What was your favorite show from your childhood? Alvin and the Chipmunks was my favorite show, hands down. The series from the 80s. I know I've talked about this before. That was my favorite cartoon. If I have to talk about my favorite live TV show, would have to have been Hey Dude, which was a TV show from on Nickelodeon from the late 80s and early 90s. I know everybody probably thought I was going to say Double Dare because I was on an episode of Double Dare, but yeah, I would still say Hey Dude is my favorite. I was on a few Nick shows back in the day, but I can't find them anymore. I guess the footage is lost to the sands of time at this point. And yes, before you ask, I have been to the old Nickelodeon studios in Florida before. That was definitely an experience. It's really a shame that is closed. Alien Technology. I loved Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts. Yes, Salute Your Shorts was another short-lived live action show. When it comes to Salute Your Shorts, I don't know if you remember the camp counselor. His name was Ugg. He had a girlfriend in that show. She was probably in 3 or 4 episodes, and I've actually met that actress. She actually works at MGM Studios now. She gives tours. What did you think about Minute to Win It? I really didn't watch Nick that much when that game show was out. I really didn't know much about that. I've heard of it though. Bear in the Big Blue House. Yeah, again, that was because of my age. That was when I was actually like in high school, so I didn't really watch that too much. I do remember from my childhood on Nickelodeon, Eureka's Castle was big. Doug. Rocko's Modern Life, a couple of cartoons. I love Rocko's Modern Life. They're actually coming out with a movie this year. I'm definitely going to see that because that was one of my favorite, albeit a little bit more raunchy than I would usually like, but still funny. Pete and Pete, yes, and that was Ladalim. I think that's how you pronounce that. Pete and Pete, yeah, I remember the Adventures of Pete and Pete. Yep, good times. I used to love the Nick shows. One of my favorites. I'm actually going to end the live stream here. We've been doing this for about 52, 53 minutes. My voice, as you can hear, is getting very groggy, and I'm afraid that my batteries on my phone are starting to die. Hope you guys are really enjoying these. I will apologize the fact that the giveaway is going to be delayed, and that really isn't my fault. It has to do with YouTube and their new policies, but it is going to be. I am going to do it April 1st. I'm going to do it on April Fool's Day, which I think is going to be really funny because I'll probably do something for those of you that didn't see this. I'll say something like, "Oh, the giveaway's canceled." No, it's not. We'll see how many people actually remember. That's unfortunate. The giveaway is being delayed. Yeah, it's nothing I can do about it, but one other thing I'm going to say about that is the giveaway is going to be for U.S. residents only, mainly because I can't get Amazon cards for the other countries. So at least the first giveaway is going to be for people in the continental United States only. But in the future, other giveaways, I'm going to try to make it so everybody around the world can participate. Alright, tubers, I'm ending this live stream. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. Please continue to like and subscribe. You guys are the lifeblood of this channel. I hope this channel is going to go on for many more years to come. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.